What's up, guys? It's your girl, Alexandria Ikamoni, in the studio with the one and only Sherri J. White. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Happy to have you in studio, by the way.
Happy to be here.
Yes, you look fabulous. You look
Thank
great.
You, as do you, my dear.
Thank you. Just came from Turkey, by the way.
Yes, just came back from Turkey. 9 days for my 40th birthday. So
happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you, girl.
How was the trip?
Oh, my gosh. It was the most amazing trip I'd ever been on.
Mm-hmm.
I explored, I lived, I took some risks. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Favorite part of the trip? One thing. What
Favorite
would it be?
part of the trip would have been the horses.
Ooh.
I did a horse run shoot where I'm walking in the middle of like 15 horses and I could be trampled at any moment. But it's like a photo op and it was a video and I had on this scant, which is a skirt and pant with this train, and it was just amazing. So that really, really was something that I was scared to do, but it came out amazing.
Yeah, I love that for you. Also, 40th birthday trip, such a fun time it seems like, but why Turkey out of all places?
You know, I wanted to go somewhere, but I didn't want to go anywhere cliche. I'm one of those people that kind of goes away from the crowd. So you see the Balis and the Thailands and the things
the
that
Dubais.
are, and it's like, you know what, I wanted to do something that was just different where I would kind of have to figure out an itinerary, find my own way, and explore. And Turkey just popped up on the radar one way or another, and that's where I landed.
I love it. I love it. And I saw the pictures on Instagram. Look like a fun time. So I'm happy you had a blast. But let's talk about it. For those who do not know, Miss Sherri J. White is a teen mom turned multi-millionaire before the age of 30. You're 40 now. Before 30, you made a few M's.
I did. All glory to God. It was his doing, not mine.
I love it. You got to give him the praise there. But tell me more about how you really went from, being a young mother to owning, honestly, an empire.
You know, it really started with, I guess, my positioning at a very early age. I had my daughter at 14 years old, but her side of the family they were in the daycare industry. So everybody had this mind frame that we ain't getting ready to keep this baby for free and we ain't getting ready to watch this baby. It's your child. So early on, I had to work at their daycares to earn my keep. And during that process and during that time, I didn't realize, but I was being molded and groomed and kind of positioned subconsciously to be the boss that I am today. And, worked for them, learned many things that I didn't even know I was learning, learned a lot of responsibility. And then just moving forward in life, when it was time for me to do my thing, I had so many skills and so much knowledge that I didn't even know I had. And I really got a head start. So starting early allowed me to finish even earlier and build a lot so quickly because I was already in tune with what I needed to do.
Yes, I love that. So just a quick question there, because it seems like you had some kind of support system, even though they, didn't come for free, it came at a cost. It seems like you had a nice support system behind you to really help you through those years.
I did. I really did. It was the right type of support system. It wasn't the we're going to clean up your mess support system. You just go do your thing. It was we're going to do exactly enough so that you can do what you need to do and we have your back, but you still got to stand on your own 2 feet. So it was a very strong support system. And at the time, I was just like, why y'all can't just keep the baby? But as I'm an adult now, I realize that I see why they couldn't just keep the baby because that's what turned me into the woman that I am today.
I love it. And the woman you are today owns Daycares. You got the training, you got the understanding, but you could have opened any other business that you wanted to. So why did you decide to stick with the daycare? You know what?
I started working for Atlanta Public School System, and I was an executive assistant to the principal at a high school. And I just felt like, every job I get seems like it has something to do with kids. And I was working there. I wasn't making much money. And it was just kind of like, well, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to be around kids, I might as well do what I've seen.
Might as well.
The people that taught me were doing extremely well. And I saw that at a very early age. And I think that's how I transitioned back. I knew it and I didn't know that I had a passion for it, but I did. And it was like, if I'm going to do it, I might as well just do what I know.
Yes. Well, other businesses as well, from books to co-spaces. There's so much going on. Real estate, I believe. Tell me more about all the other things that you also have going on, because it's not just one avenue.
No, I'm not a risk taker, but I believe in myself. And I'm also a believer that when God plants a seed or a vision, in your mind, you have to act on it, especially if it's something that you just can't shake mentally. So once I got the daycare businesses where I wanted them to be, instead of sitting back with my legs folded and saying, oh, I've made it, let me lay in the laps of luxury, indefinitely, I decided to, put some of the skills that I utilized along the way, a lot of the money that I made, I know I was going to need some type of backup plan. Yeah. And so one backup plan turned into 2 backup plans, turned into 3 backup plans. And the real estate part, I'm licensed in both Georgia and Florida.
Yes.
That came from the fact that I had started buying property. And I was like, well, I'm paying these realtors all these fees. I'm like, well, if I'm going to be buying and investing in properties, let me get my license so that not only can I help my family and friends, I can keep money in my pocket and save on real estate. That's how that came. And then the co-space came from, or the suites and things like that, when it was time for my daughter, who is 25 now and also an entrepreneur. She was having a hard time. People didn't believe in her business or business plan enough to even want to lease her space when it was time for her to expand and grow. So I said, okay, well, if she's having this problem and we're okay, imagine the people who really aren't okay. You know they're having this problem. Yeah. So I said, okay, not only are we going to help each other, me and my daughter, I'm going to help her expand and get repositioned, and I'm going to help other people and teach her how to help other people as well. So that's where the co-spaces came from. The books, it was just one of those things, like, if I can tell people how to do it, here you go. This is how to do it. And I've always been a very, very, very big advocate of English literature, writing, and I'm very well spoken. My degree is in communication.
I love
it. That's where that came from. And then the Galentine's Day Gala, which is the Grammys for women in business, that just came from being a woman that flew under the radar for so long, to where it's like, if you're not a big name or attached to some big celebrity or have these big celebrity friends or clientele, it's like people, they don't pay attention. They don't pay attention to you. And it's like, wow, I could be qualified, amazing, professional, and have all of the skill set I need to help somebody or to gain this client or this contract. But because nobody knows who I am, or I'm not attached to somebody, or I don't look, the part, they're going to go to a person less skilled, less willing to help and give them their money and time just because they have a name or an attachment. And so I said, well, I know I'm not the only one going through this. So let me create something for women like myself, who are prominent women in business, who work hard, and who, if they just had a coalition of women that believed in them, they would just be amazing and be able to network and grow. And that's where that came from. And it grew so fast.
Yes.
And it's amazing. It's one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do, but it's one of those things that the reward from it, and not from a financial standpoint, because I ain't never made a dime, but just from seeing the women make these connections, and years later they have businesses together and they're friends. It's very fulfilling.
It's fulfilling. It's powerful. You're doing great work for the ladies, because we need our flower, especially here in Atlanta, where we're doing so many amazing things. You got to get that recognition. So it's great that you are giving the unsung heroes, if you will, a chance to really get some spotlight and get their flowers. So I love that. I want to go back to the co-working space with your daughter. How does it feel to collaborate with your baby on a business? I think that's so cool. So how does it feel, and how is it like working with your daughter on something so fantastic, truthfully?
Well, generational wealth is important to me because nobody gave me anything.
Yeah.
And I felt like the best way to instill work ethic and, a generational type of mindset was to be in collaboration. You can tell a person to do something all day long, but can you show them how to do it? So with my daughter, I felt like if I can show her the ropes, and if I can not only show it to her, but allow her to gain some type of benefit from what I'm showing her, I think she will be more willing and more open to getting the torch when it's time for me to pass it along and running with it. So it feels really good to know that she has firsthand knowledge from the best to do it.
Okay.
And I don't have to depend on the world to teach her. I don't have to depend on, anybody else to show her what I already know. So it feels really, really good, because every day I see her grow and her learn and her, exhibit something that she's learned and picked up, not only from me, but just being in business and going through trials and tribulations along the way. So it was very important, because, when I leave, I don't want to leave in vain. I want her to be able to carry it.
Yeah. And you're giving her a legacy for her to carry, which is fantastic. That a lot of moms should be doing out there. So I love that.
That's the most important thing.
Yes. And I'm curious to know, because you've been really kind of molding and training her from a very young age. What are some of the biggest lessons that you've given her that you feel like has really made her into the type of businesswoman that she is today?
One of the biggest lessons that I think I've given her, and that I know that she understands fully now, is sometimes your passion isn't going to be what pays you. But it doesn't mean that you don't follow your passion. It just means you got to follow your passion while finding something that's going to pay you.
Hello.
Because the bills ain't going to pay themselves.
Not at all.
So she's in the beauty industry. That's her thing. That's what she loved. But in terms of the lifestyle, childcare has provided us, at really early age for her. You can't compare the two. It's apples and oranges. Right. So with the beauty industry, you'll make a few dollars, but it's going to be inconsistent because there's slow seasons. People not, getting waxes. They not getting facials. It's cold. They want all the hair. They don't, So I had to teach her that it's okay to follow your passion and do what makes you happy, but you also got to have some type of plan B in a basket to know, okay, this is what I'm doing because I love it, but this is what I'm doing because it's taking care of me. So I think that was one of the biggest things. I taught her early on how to have multiple streams of income so that if one ain't working, the other one is. And I think she appreciates that now.
Yes, yes. As a younger person myself, I also learned that lesson early on because I love iHeart. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also in real estate because, like you said, bills got to get paid. So I get it 100%. And it's great that she has somebody like you to really just train her and mold her in that way. I had my parents, but not everybody's fortunate enough to get that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in talking about that generational wealth here, what advice do you want to give to people who are thinking about doing something or starting something to create that generational wealth for themselves, but haven't taken the leap of faith yet?
I think they need to make sure that they fully understand what they're doing. Whatever career, whatever industry, whatever leap of faith they're about to take, if you are depending on that to create a legacy or generational wealth for you and your family, you need to master it, because the generational wealth part comes in with you teaching them what you know. You can't teach a person what you don't know, and you can't expect for them to carry the torch if it's not lit. And a part of being able to light the torch is knowing what to do. So research, get some experience, and just build it up to the point where when it's time for you to pass it on, you're passing it on as a blueprint and not just as a hobby that you were doing that you might have invested a time and money into. It needs to be a blueprint so that the next person that grabs that blueprint can follow it and execute it effortlessly.
I love that. Great advice there. So just speaking on more advice for people who are entrepreneurs starting off, what tips can you really give them to help get to their level of success that they desire to get to?
I think first and foremost, you need to learn yourself. Learning yourself and knowing exactly what you're capable of and what you're trying to accomplish is extremely important. And then furthermore, learning who's interested in those two things, who's interested in who you are as a person and who shares commonalities in terms of goals and just the things that you want out of life. If you can learn yourself, learn what your goals are, and then find people to get on that train with you, that's how you build your business. People buy into people, not really products. If people believe in you, you could sell a piece of gum off the floor. If they believe that piece of gum is going to turn into $20 in some kind of way, they will buy into it. But the only way for you to do that is to know yourself and know what you're capable of.
I know. It starts from within, 100% starting from within and having that belief in yourself. So we love that. Now, you, like you said, had a birthday, now 40. But tell me more about what you think is important as far as lessons that you did learn in your 30s.
You know what I've learned in my 30s is that I cannot please everybody.
No, you can't.
And I've learned in life that trying to please everybody, you're taking away from yourself. If you're spending all the time that you have in the world trying to please other people, where are you making yourself happy? And I think they say something in your mind, once you turn 40, it clicks and you just don't care anymore. I honestly feel like a couple of weeks leading up to my 40th birthday, I transitioned into that. I just don't care anymore because I spent my whole 30s trying to show everybody I'm a good person. I can do this. I'm great. I'm helpful. No, I'm not arrogant. I'm not over the top. I am all of those things in a good way.
Yes.
And I just learned as long as I'm happy with me, the rest will flow. And I also learned when you're really, really happy with yourself, that's when the best things in life happen for you. And that's when you can identify the opportunities that are really for you because you know who you are and what you need.
And you can really just see it. Like, you can feel the glow. You can see the happiness and how true to yourself you are. So I think it's amazing because, like you said, people say it clicks, and I'm taking your word for it until I get there. So that's exciting. Okay, so with 40s, what's to come? What do you want to accomplish in your 40s? Are you going to relax a little bit more, let your daughter take over? Or
I am. She's more receptive to the childcare industry. At first, she was like, no, listen, I've been seeing you do this since I was 5 years old. I don't want to be bothered with these kids. But again, it's what feeds the family. It's what allows us to live a certain way, to give back, to do all of the amazing things that we do. So she's more receptive to it. So now she's literally like in a mini boot camp.
I love it.
To where she's learning all the tricks and trades of the business. And I've been a parent since I was 14.
Yeah.
So I've had responsibilities for as long as I can remember. I think going to Turkey and just kind of reflecting on the previous 39 years really opened up a portal to where I really want to live in my 40s. I don't care what anybody has to say or what they think about what I'm doing. I'm not obligated to anybody, and I want to exercise the right to live. I don't feel, out of all the amazing things I've done, I've actually ever lived. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm excited. You gotta live. Gotta live it up in your 40s. They say your 40s is your 30s with more money too. So, you gotta enjoy those times. I love it. Okay, so I am curious though, as a teen mom, what lessons did you learn that you really just want to share with other people in similar situations, or just advising them on their journeys as well?
Don't be ashamed of having a child as a teen parent. I mean, it's not a mistake. It's just something that happens in your life that will mold you to be who you're supposed to be. I know a lot of people have a child at an early age and they feel like, okay, life is over, so I might as well not even try anymore. It's me, this baby. I'm stuck. I'm not going to be anything. No, because again, that baby will teach you resilience. That baby will teach you a love that you never knew. That baby will teach you motivation. It'll teach you responsibility. It'll end up being everything that you need. So if I could say one thing and give any type of lesson to teen parents out there, would be use what you're going through being a teen parent as fire to catapult you forward in life. No matter how hard it gets, it's going to be rewarding.
Yes. And you are proof that you can do it. You are proof that it can be done gracefully. So we thank you for those words of wisdom. So we have about a few more months left of this year. It's
it's almost gone. It's July, so
it is insane.
Over. Yeah.
What do you have to come for the rest of the year? What do you have going on?
You know what? I am in work mode, like I said, because I'm training my daughter.
Yes.
But I'm also just going to continue to learn the new me and this new me that really don't care.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to that. I'm like, do I want to travel? Do I want to open more businesses? Do I want to buy more real estate? I don't know. Whatever the day brings when I wake up. And that's a really powerful place to be in, because every decision that I get to make moving forward is going to be with me in mind. I've set everybody else up in my family. My daughter's good. My mother's good. My immediate family. Everybody has been placed where they need to be placed. So I'm just looking forward to really doing the things that I want to do for me.
And one thing, what do you want to do for you this year? I got to know.
Okay. So there's this building that I'm eyeing.
Ooh.
Yes. 5,000 square feet. City of Atlanta needs a lot of work. But the building really speaks to me, and I believe it belongs to me. So that is my goal for this year, really for in the next 90 days to obtain that building and turn it into a daycare center.
Ooh, okay, I'm about to ask, what is it going to be used for? That's exciting. Yeah. We need more daycares in the state. Like, I know there's issue with funding and people not having enough options and overcrowding. So I think it's great you're putting one in the city of Atlanta.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, well, we love it. And how can the people follow you, by the way? They want to stay connected.
So you can follow me on @SherriJLovely on Instagram, and also www.sherrijwhite.com, which is my website.
I love it. Thank you so much, Miss Sherri J. White, for coming into the studio.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, we appreciate you coming in. Once again, Alexandra Camoni with iHeartRadio.